Everything you desire is waiting for you to claim it. There's no creating involved, only invention through imagination and building through action. You are at the center of all your desires, dreams, and achievements. Welcome to Designing Your Life Today, the podcast that's all about your success, achieving your goals, building wealth through your business, and building your most passionate, powerful, magnificent life. Discover ways to use your purpose to connect you to serving others and living your dreams. I am Pat Council, and I know you are built by design to win. And it all begins with knowing how to tap into your success energy. Let's get on the path of discovery, decisive action, development, and unwavering dedication to your life's calling. It's time to embark on a transformative journey where your deepest passions become your most rewarding achievements. Embrace your power to shape your destiny, because this is your moment to do life with power. Hello, Power Up Nation. I'm Pat Council, and let's talk about areas to spring clean that will boost your achievement. So, with that being said, we're actually talking about the physical areas. We've already talked about the mental, emotional, and physical spring cleaning, but let's bring it on the outside a little bit and let's talk about some of the physical areas. So what I'm going to do is I am going to address 7 areas, and I'm going to see if I can do it very quickly so that I don't keep you guys too long, because I can talk about each one of these in great detail. But before we get into these areas, I want to tell you that it is so important to pay attention to how you organize things and being and cleaning things and putting things in order. You know, the Bible encourages that it encourages, let's say, cleanliness and being organized. And it talks about the fact that how God is a God of order and not of chaos. And so when we think about chaos, sometimes we think that chaos is chaos, let's say, where people are in an uproar and they're upset with each other and they're going back and forth and everybody's just going really crazy over things. But it's not just that. Sometimes chaos, you can have a chaotic living environment, your bedroom, your kitchen, the dishes and all of these things. And I can tell you, if you want to boost your achievement, and I touched on this a little bit on a previous podcast this month when I talked about physical spring cleaning and clutter, but I want to touch a little bit more on some things as it relates to your goal achievement so that you can achieve your goals. So first, let's start with this one. Speaking of goals, we're going to start with, take a look at your goals. This is the end of the first quarter. So we're about to go into the second quarter. So you want to take a look at your goals, and you want to streamline and refine your goals. There's nothing wrong with you looking at your goals and saying, you know what, this is something I thought I wanted to achieve, but I don't want to achieve this. Or I'm not there yet, or I'm not ready. Now, that does not mean that you make your goals smaller, because it requires that you become a little bit more disciplined, or that you take the time to learn something new. Achieving goals, it's about stretching. All right. Because when you stretch, you're going to discover some great things about yourself. You're going to discover more about your purpose, more about your calling. You're also going to discover the most amazing thing and most magnificent thing, and that is how super capable you are. You're actually going to say, wow, Pat was right. I am built by design to win. Because when we start to stretch ourselves, we see what we are really capable of. It's kind of like when I first went into the military years ago, and I had not done any of these things. I hadn't fired a weapon. I didn't know anything about a rucksack. I didn't know anything about anything. Okay. A lot of the things that I was about to learn, And I didn't even know, I knew what a push-up was, but I'd never done a push-up in my life. Thank goodness I grew up on a farm, so I was reasonably strong. Upper body strength was pretty strong. But the point is, it still gave me a workout and I was still sore. But where I'm going with this is there were so many different things I learned when I was in basic training. And all of a sudden I was finding out what I was really capable of, things that I could really not only do and complete, but I could be extremely good and efficient at doing these things. Well, that gave my confidence a serious boost. So you want to think about your goals. When you're looking at your goals and when you get ready to streamline them, streamlining is more about you looking at the goals and being sure that they're in order. Order in the sense that, okay, I'm going to accomplish this first, and then we're going to go to the next level and the next level, and having a strategy and paying attention to your systems. Does this system match with the types of goals that I'm interested in achieving? So you want to look at all of these kinds of things. So take a look at your goals. All right. Your goals need a little spring cleaning. Okay. Because you can be all over the place. All right. There's so much to learn, usually it's throughout the year, but especially during the first 3 months of the year and the last 2 months of the previous year, there is so much information coming at you, teaching you things so that you can go to the next level. And that can be overwhelming. Well, we're about to go into the second quarter. So by now, some of this stuff could have been brought, let's say, put in more order, better order. I'll say it like that. Could have been put in better order. So pay attention to your goals, all right, and streamline them and refine them. And make sure the goals are connected to your identity, that you're not just achieving a goal just because, I don't know, for the sake of $1. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you have to start there and then you get in there and you make that money and you use that money to actually put it towards something that you're really excited about. But at least streamline and refine the goals, know where you're going. All right. So the second one, let's talk about the bedroom and the closets. I made those as one, because most closets are in the bedrooms. You want to pay attention to your closets. And if you're like me and you have 2 walk-in closets, then guess what? It's pretty easy to accumulate lots and lots of stuff. Right. So with that being said, my biggest challenge is making sure that my books stay organized, because I have books in several different closets throughout my house. But the point I'm making is that when it comes to your bedroom, do you make up your bed? Do you vacuum the floor? Are you keeping it clean and orderly? Because when you wake up in the morning, you feel so much better. Now, I can tell you sometimes if you get a little bit overwhelmed because you've got so much on your plate, you jump out of bed and you just kind of spread it up. Okay, maybe I'm confessing. Well, I have promised myself that, you know what, that's not going to happen. Get up early enough so you can put things in order, because you're overwhelmed because you're not your things aren't in order. So you become overwhelmed when things are out of order. And you may say, well, once I leave my bedroom and I go to my office, I'm not thinking about these kind of things. No, you carry that cluttered mind with you, whether you realize it or not. So we got bedroom and closets. The next one is kitchen. So that's number 3. It's easy to say, okay, I'm going to not run the dishwasher. I'm going to run it maybe, I don't know, once a week. Do people do that? I have to make sure, that I wash my dishes every night. Now, full disclosure, every now and then I will put a couple of plates in the sink and say, okay, I'll take care of it tomorrow. It's not that much. Okay. But you know what? Not that much can turn to much very quickly. The next day you get up and now you're cooking something else. So you're adding the new plates to yesterday's plates. And I can tell you there's nothing better. And I talked about this in a previous podcast, I think about a week or so ago. And I talked about this as well. There's nothing better than walking into your kitchen and everything is in order. The floor is clean. It's mopped. Everything is nice. Now, if you say, well, you know what? You have no idea how busy I am, Pat. Well, that's called a maid. Then you get someone to help you clean your home, or someone that comes in once a week or twice a week to clean the home so that you can focus on your what's most important to you, the most important things. And a lot of times we do need help. You know what's funny? And I hope some guys are listening to this because I'm just going to say it. And in Proverbs, I think it's Proverbs 31, where it talks about the virtuous woman. A lot of times, and I've heard preachers preach this, that, if a woman doesn't like to clean, she's not going to be a good wife. I don't necessarily agree with that because the Proverbs 31 woman, she had a maid. Okay. And so she was more of a manager. She managed the house and she ran a business. She took her blankets to market. So you guys can go read that yourself. And yet women are exhausting themselves by trying to do it all. So listen, if a woman does it, it's not about whether she can clean. It is about, does she want a clean, orderly place? Now, if that's the case, I don't think she's a bad wife, but how would I know? I'm a woman, right? So, however, let's go. I don't need to know. All I need to know is what Proverbs 31 says. She had a lot of help. Okay. She was a manager. All right. I don't need to go on with that. But I mean, if you have a few dishes, like I said, in the sink, I don't always run my dishwasher. I don't have to because if there's one or two plates, it takes me 5 minutes to wash those and I'm done. So bedroom, closet, kitchen. All right. We talked about refining your goals, streamlining and refining your goals. All right. Let's move on to number 4. Okay. This one is something that you want to put on your schedule. And again, you can pay someone to do this. Dust. It's really important to have quality air. Okay. Do you know that if you don't vacuum or if you have all this dust everywhere, you have dust mites that are going up your nose and they are just floating around your house all throughout the house. But when, you've dusted and everything is clean, it feels so good. Even if you don't use any kind of air freshener, your house has a nice, clean, fresh smell because there's fresh air flowing through your house, making sure that your air filters are changed, air conditioner filters, any filters that need to be changed so that things are clean. Okay, so that's number 4. Let's go to number 5. Finances. See, we're not just going to talk about what goes on in your living environment. We're talking about your overall, what can cause you, areas that you want to pay attention to when it comes to spring cleaning that can cause you to get off track and cause you to accumulate the kind of clutter that will knock you off your game. So finances, you know what? Look at your finances. Take the time to pay attention to them. One thing I've kind of realized, I guess some of the people that I've met throughout my life, and one thing I found is that when there was clutter throughout the house, they also had financial clutter as well, because clutter is clutter. And I can tell you years ago, and this is like, I was brand new, fairly new in real estate. Yeah, actually I was brand new and I hadn't been out of the military that long and I had an apartment. So I had a 2-bedroom apartment and I've shared this story, probably years ago. I had a 2-bedroom apartment and one of the rooms was kind of my junk room. The rest of the apartment looked immaculate because I was throwing everything into the second room and it was like a big pile of junk. Okay. So one of my friends, and I learned a very valuable lesson from her and I should have known better. I mean, I was in the military and they taught us how to put everything in order. But one of my friends, came over and she says, you know what? I'm going to clean that room for you. I did not stop her. When she finished, she was so good at organizing things. So when she finished, everything was in such good order. And you know what? I liked the way it felt. I felt good. Everything felt lighter. I felt lighter. And so as a result, I vowed to keep it clean. And I did. I kept it clean. And to this day, I don't like things being a lot of clutter like that. But if I get that kind of clutter, I can tell you that's the part where I start throwing things away, giving things away. And if there's something I want to sell, then I sell it. Okay. If I get that kind of clutter, that's rare, but it does pile up sometimes when I get too many books or I'm reading and I'm working and I'm coaching and I'm doing that kind of thing. Sometimes I can focus on one thing and then I have to kind of look at my list, and I keep a list to make sure I'm on track. At the end of each month, got a checklist. All right, let's pay attention so I don't get too much clutter, too overwhelmed. So with that being said, your finances, all right? If you need help with that, get help with it. Organize your finances. If you have to read a book, if you have to get a financial advisor, if you have to even, I don't know, get a finance coach, someone to keep you accountable on what you do with your money versus what you don't, not just a financial advisor. Just pay attention to your finances. All right, so let's move on. We are almost done. Number 6. Clear and clean out all your digital devices. Okay. So your technology, pay attention to it, your computer, your cell phone, your tablets, all of these things. You want to make sure that you, first of all, clean them. Okay. And secondly, because, they can get some really gooky junk on them. You're putting them on your face or even your computer. It can get dirty. So you need to clean your keys. So, clean your laptop area. If you have a desktop and a keyboard, clean it, get rid of the germs off of that. And also, when I say clear, download the necessary files that you need to download and delete the ones that you're never going to use again so that you don't have a lot of clutter. The beautiful thing about this, and the reason why this is about boosting or why this will boost your achievement is, again, okay, you have a lot of flow. It helps you focus better. You don't feel weighed down subconsciously. It's there that, I've got all this stuff. And that's on my list that I have to look once a month. I pay attention to what needs to be backed up on my computer and on a disk and on an external drive, and then what needs to be deleted from that computer. Okay, so pay attention to those kind of things. I write a lot. I do a lot of different things. So I have to make sure that these things stay in order. I'm a fan, and you guys have heard me talk about this. I'm a fan of color coding everything. And I can tell you, each year, as things start to grow and things start to become better, what happens is I have to pay attention to my system and see, okay, now you've color coded everything. Just because you color code, let's say files or certain things, little index cards, whatever it is you're using, just because you color code those, that doesn't mean you won't end up with 300 green ones and 300 yellow ones. And now you're still you're trying to find something that you did, I don't know, 6 months ago or a year ago, because now you're ready to use it. So there are systems that you can come up with and ways that you can put these things in order. And I know a lot of you are thinking, wow, she still uses paper. Yes, I do. And I use paper, but I also, there are different apps that I have on my computer that I use to organize things as well. The reason why I use paper is because for whatever reason, if my computer stops and I have more than one, but if something goes wrong, I'm a plan B girl when it comes to those kinds of things. So I have the backup. And to me, there's nothing better than paper. Plus, there are some things I just don't want to put into my computer because people can hack your computer and people are just flat out nosy. So back on topic. So clean and clear out your digital device. Get rid of unused apps. As well, pay attention to the apps that you haven't been using and you're never going to use them. They might have excited you at the time or says, download this free app. You downloaded it. You never used it. Get rid of it. And number 7, workspace or your home office. Make sure that you clean your workspace. Now, I talked about this, I think, a few weeks ago as well. Make sure, okay, that you, clean your workspace. And I know there's some people say, I work better. I know where everything is. No, you really don't. And the reason why I say that, because been there, done that. And it takes you what should take you perhaps 30 seconds or less to find a sheet of paper or even in your own computer or to look up something. It takes you so much longer. And not only that, and I've coached people like that, and I've seen how they when I ask them to find something, and they go, "I had it right here. I know where it is." And the next thing you know, we're waiting 2 minutes, 3 minutes while they find it because they're not that organized. And if you want to boost your achievement, take some time and do some spring cleaning and organize. And you go, you know what? I'm so not good at being organized, and find someone to help you. And listen, there are no excuses today. Even Chat GPT can help you, or Copilot, or some of the other AI programs out there can help you streamline things. So make sure you do these things. So there we have 7. Number 1, streamline and refine your goals. Number 2, bedroom and closets. Now, closets might take a minute, but take your time and get it done. The kitchen and dishes and all of that. That's number 3. Number 4, dust, because you need quality fresh air. It helps you think better. And finances. Audit and organize your finances. Number 5, clean and clear out digital devices, which includes getting rid of unused apps. And number 7, clean your workspace or your home office. Now, as I was talking about cleaning, it just dawned on me, maybe I want to share with you guys what I use. I had mentioned on a previous podcast that I use non-toxic cleansers and these kinds of things. So I didn't tell you where I get them from, but I'll put it in the show notes. It's called Groove or Grove, and Grove is really nice. I love ordering from them. They also write cute little messages on the boxes that come in the mail when I order. But it just keeps my place smelling so clean. And when I mop the floor, everything just smells really, really good and fresh. So with that being said, I'll pop that in the show notes. And it's a referral link. And no, I don't get a commission from that. But I have my own referral link. It lets me see who's clicking on what and if it's a value to you. And the thing about that, if you don't know how to streamline your goals, of course, my book, High Impact Power Goal Setting, will help you with that and help you put things in order. So listen, you guys, that is all I have for you. This is all about toning it up on Tone It Up Tuesday. So we talked a lot about the physical before, but now we are covering a lot of things on the outside. Take the time to pay attention to these things, because April, something great is coming. What's coming great? Listen, you guys, we're going to go all out, okay, and make some great things happen. This is the second quarter, so you want to position yourself to be excited, get revved up, and just go for it. In the meantime, I want you guys to remember that, you know what, you're entitled to have your magnificent life. Do what it takes to get that. And remember to do life with power, knowing that you're built by design to win.